if you're watching this, you have probably seen me either on your TikTok For You page or your Instagram Explore feed doing either a Judge Judy impression, that's been one of the biggest ones lately, or like a Justin Bieber impression where I'm like reenacting what they're saying and doing. And I have a couple of other like mega viral videos too that were kind of funny. One of them was the one where I was talking about how soulmates look alike. Like I have weird little theories that I riff like that, where I feel like, you know, two people that are meant to be together, they usually look similar to some level. So yeah, that's probably what you might have recognized me from if you're watching this. I've been on the For You and Explore pages a couple times for that.
So obviously you and I met because I was coming in the studio and I said hello. But I had totally, when I seen you, I went on your page, and then what had happened was I guess the algorithm pushed your Judge Judy.
Okay, yeah.
Why Judge Judy? Tell me give me the background on this before we go to anything else. Because that's
so
the one that got me. I was like, this shit's hilarious.
Okay, yeah. So I'm actually curious. So for you as a viewer, you were watching it. For you, it was just like entertaining, or what was it about it that was like?
I initially was like, okay, like what's going on? Because then I saw Judge Judy, and then you're above it, and I was like, oh, she's doing it all the way through.
Yeah.
And then
no cuts.
The voice, everything, one clean sweep, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
she gets it. Like, you know, so. Yeah. Also, this is a very, you know, harsh take, but like comedy is one of those things where it's like, you don't see it where this is a harsh take. This is pretty.
Let's hear it. Honestly, I'm all for harsh takes and polarizing.
All right. I don't meet or even know too many women who I genuinely find funny.
Okay, valid. I've heard that before. Yep.
Yeah, I think this is a common thing with a lot of guys. Like I can't even name my top 5 favorite female comedians.
Really?
I can't. It's like Jenna McCartney and like the cast of like what's it, Bridesmaids?
Oh yes. Oh my God, they're hilarious.
That shit was
They
hilarious.
are so funny. Yes.
And then from there, I'm like, it gets tough.
Interesting.
But to see somebody who actually like go through, I was like, all right, that's actually funny.
Well, so. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like getting into that was really funny. So this is probably a good time to tell you about how I actually got into social media. So at the very beginning, I was working a 9-to-5 job as a substance abuse counselor for the county that I was living in at the time. It was in Virginia. I was at a detox center, so I was working with a lot of like homeless people with severe mental health disorders, you know, addiction issues. So it was a very serious, very like heavy workplace. And so I just started making TikToks and Instagram videos actually it was mainly TikTok at the beginning, just for shits and giggles, just to have a laugh, you know, lip syncing, voiceovers, just like funny stuff. And so the funny stuff started really going viral and taking off. And there were a couple of videos that I had filmed at my actual job with my coworkers that were also really funny and harmless, but they went mega viral. They were, you know, like in the millions of views. And so my director of my job actually saw it. And he was like, yeah, you're fired. Like, this is just not okay. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'm just going to have to do social media for real. And so I ended up getting, like, my first social media job was I worked as a social media manager / content person for this brand called Fishbowl. It was like a small tech startup, basically. It was like a crossover between LinkedIn and Reddit. So people could, like, anonymously post about their workplace. And so they brought me onto the team just to kind of make some entertaining, funny skits that would kind of put them on the map. So I came up with this thing called Gen Talk. And it's basically like in the corporate workplace, it was like getting every generation's stance or reaction to something. Yeah. And like, you know, for example, boomers. And then you have Gen X, and you have millennials, and you have Xennials and Gen Z. So I would like create a character almost for every generation, and I would have them react to a certain prompt. And so when I would act like the boomer generation one, it was very New York. Like, what are you talking about? Nobody here likes to, you know, work anymore. You all want to just like quit your job, you know, just like being very animated and like using the accent and just like acting like I'm older. And people loved it. Like that series put Fishbowl on the map. They were acquired by Glassdoor recently, so they're not called Fishbowl anymore. But it was like super viral. So people really enjoyed the skits where I'm like acting like those different things. So that's always something that I've kind of done in content creation, which is like mimicking people and like acting like people and giving it a whole like energy and persona. And so one day I saw a funny Judge Judy video and I was like, oh, I should recreate this. I feel like this would be kind of funny. So I just sat down and memorized it for like, I would say maybe 15, 20 minutes. And then I just recorded it and it like spread like wildfire. Like that is the one type of video. Every single time I post it, it's hitting 1 million in like 24 hours or less. Like people are like obsessed with it. It's like crazy almost.
So like you can like repost it. Like if you have a video that you like a lot, because this is just for people who are just who want to be a creator like you know, like young girls or whatever else. You take these and you just keep running them? Like, oh, this is hot, or do you just remake it, or?
So I will find, because that's actually a really good question. When it comes to creativity, I feel like if you try too hard to imitate something over and over and over, it almost loses its essence. It's not as like fun anymore.
It does.
So what I do is I'll find different Judge Judy clips to reenact if I like them. But then I also did like the Justin Bieber one. Like that was a little bit different, but still like the same format.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I would do it. I would just like do whatever one speaks to me or whatever one I find to be entertaining. I'll just kind of film it and go from there.
All right.
Yeah, the Justin Bieber one was also pretty, like people loved that because that was like a viral, you know, he's like standing on business, like, you know, like that whole thing. So I just had to do that one too.
Well, let's take it all the way back then even further, okay? So you get into what it is to like be a creator.
Yeah.
Right? And this is like how many years ago? Like this is...
it started probably like 4 years ago.
All right, so I want to question you about like your family's perspective on someone being like, you know, obviously your parents being like, hey, we have a young girl who's obviously just wants to be on her phone all day long, right? Because that seems to be the take on people who are in the creative space, right? Oh, you're just going to be
always on your phone.
Exactly. How does the family respond to you when you're like, hey, I'm actually making good money from this? Like,
so it's funny actually, because I remember when I got fired, because my whole thing was I was going to become a therapist. So I did my undergraduate degree in psychology, and I was doing a year of my master's, and I was like, dude, I'm in so much debt, like trying to pay for this master's on like a shit salary. Like it just doesn't make sense. And like, I didn't have a lot of freedom. I was a working student, you know, grad school. That's just like not the greatest setup. And so when I got fired from my job, I remember telling my mom, I was like, I just want to be doing social media for a living. Cause I remember I also went on a trip to Miami for the first time ever, literally, I came home from a trip visiting Miami and got fired on my first shift back. And when I was in Miami, I was like telling my mom on the phone, I'm like, dude, the lifestyle here is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Like people are just out on a boat in the middle of a Tuesday, like shits and gigs. Like nobody really has obligations. I guess they do work, but it's remote and they can do everything from their phone. So I was like, I want to be able to make a lot of money doing way less work, wherever I want to work from, doing whatever I want to do. Like that flexibility and that lifestyle really appealed to me. And my mom and my brother were both like, shit, go for it. Like if it works, like awesome. Like that's it. Like they never really, there wasn't really a ton of pushback from them, which I'm really grateful for. Especially after they started seeing the kind of money I was making. They're like, okay, definitely do this full time for sure.
I was going to say, money seems to validate you really quickly, right?
I mean, yeah, really, really quickly. Because I like even working for Fishbowl, like the way that came about is I basically just submitted, they had this like job listing, or not job listing, they're like, we just need somebody to make us 2 videos that are funny about Fishbowl. You can do whatever you want. We'll pay you $200 per video. So I was like, okay, cool. Easy $400. Let's just do that. So then I sent it to them, and then I heard back from them like a couple weeks later. They're like, yo, we showed these to our CEOs, and they want you to actually be the social media manager. Name your price. Whatever you want to be doing, however much you want to be making, let us know, and we'll make it work for you. So I was like, oh, okay, sick. Yeah, I would love that. Yeah. So there's so much money to be made in social media, like on your terms. It's unreal. I don't know why more people don't do it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the last guy was saying how you can't last in the food industry unless your restaurant has social media. Yeah,
Hundo.
And so you're on the same boat. You don't think there's going to be a future where like your business, whatever, you know, can exist without it?
I mean, I think there are certain niches and certain industries where it is possible, just because it's just like real estate, for example, like that, you know. But like if you are in a business where you are marketing, like you need to be marketing to customers that have to be able to find you. Yeah, I don't know if people would really be able to survive without being on social media and having that platform.
I do agree with you also on like the endless cap of it all, right? So somebody had posted the other day how much I think it was Leonardo DiCaprio made on his last film, and then they posted like a Mr. Beast YouTube video.
Yeah. Oh my God. See, and like when you look at that, and you look at how much work is Leonardo DiCaprio doing, not only how much work is he doing, how much training has he had, how much goes into all of that, and for how long. But then you do social media, and if you really crack the code, which doesn't really take that long either, you're making the same amount for way less work.
Oh yeah, and then there's this other girl. I don't know. Do you know who Emily Chamberlain?
Yeah, Emma Chamberlain.
Emma Chamberlain.
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
So I had another friend who was obsessed with her content.
She's so funny.
And then I remember I took a jab at her. I was like, oh, she's just on her phone all day. And she was like, do you understand how much she makes? This is like 7 years ago or
Oh,
5
interesting.
years ago. And I was
Okay.
like, no, I don't understand how much she makes.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, in that one video, she made this much.
Imagine.
And I was like, there aren't like full on film productions that gross that much.
Like, and
Yeah.
like all the work that goes into making that. Yeah, that's just like changed my life, is seeing that exists.
Yeah.
And it's like, why wouldn't you want to be on the right side of that?
It's even more interesting because just recently, a lot of the Tonight shows are like coming to an end.
I saw that and I was
Yeah.
like, that is actually insane. Like, that just goes to show you society's shifting. Like,
Oh, it's
not,
definitely-
people are spending time in way different places than they ever used to.
They are. And that was actually one of the things they pulled from Colbert's like following. They're like, your demographic's like 6-year-olds, and like people are spending more time on their phones,
Yep.
and we need content. Like, for instance, Jimmy Fallon, a lot of his stuff you can actually pull and plug right into like short reels.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
gains a really good, a little following, whatever. But like, I don't think they were having that same appeal with a lot of these Tonight shows that are coming on at later hours, and they're just not having that same, grab and chair. You know?
Yeah.
Which is actually why I created this show too. I wanted to create content that was very much like, okay, like I can grab that, pull
Yeah.
it, and just throw it out there, and then keep doing that from
Right.
just a long hour talk.
Right.
So now
Short form, like, formula.
you're a part of the machine now.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to take you also back. Okay, so you moved to Miami now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go there. All right. So you obviously had already done a trip there. You loved it. You were
loved it,
like, oh my God, the appeal, the outdoor weather, the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you get to Miami. Did it always meet the standard to what you thought it was, or was there a part of it that was maybe a little bit ugly that you didn't enjoy?
Yes, that's a great question. And I think I told you this before we started recording, but I feel like my take on Miami is so different than most people because of what I was looking for when I decided to come here. Because for context, I'm not a party person. I don't really go out. I don't really live what most would call the typical Miami lifestyle. I am more of like the health and wellness. I like my Pilates classes. I like going to the beach. I like warm weather. I like meeting people, reading in really cool spots that have a really nice view. Like, that's like my sort of lifestyle. And that's what I was looking for when I came here, was somewhere that would, have all of those things. And I have loved it. Like, that's why sometimes I hear people talk so much shit about Miami, and I'm like, interesting that we could have such different experiences of it. Because again, like, I get exactly what I need out of Miami, which is really nice beaches, meeting the health and wellness girlies like me, going to Pilates, really nice Pilates studios, going to events as like somebody that's in social media. This is also a really great space for creatives and content creators, because there's always these pop-up events. There's this podcasting studio that we have here in the middle. There's just so many
True.
resources
Yeah.
for people like me. So, I've really loved it. The only thing that I will say could be considered a little bit of a dark side that I wasn't really expecting is, which I maybe should have expected a little bit, was that people can be kind of superficial and obviously worried about like the wrong things. But I feel like I again, that's still not really something to complain about, because if somebody's like that, I sense it from a mile away, and I'm like, I'm just not going to interact with you.